I tried never to do predictions, just understanding the uncertainty of war. This is probably one of the most politically complex endeavors that has been attempted in a generation of all these different countries you're talking about, that geopolitical great power competition perspective. Although Gaza is not that, where if you were talking Syria or somewhere like that, I think I wouldn't be as hopeful or confident about a mandate or being able to stabilize or de-radicalize. But this is actually a very small piece of ground with control of a lot of external variables that you can't do in other areas. Why not nation building? One, I think that that's kind of like a dirty word that's been used because of how many failures there was on trying to create democratic nation states with full civil liberties and everything in places where it never existed, let alone with cultural aspects on why whatever is trying to be built wouldn't work. That's not what's been talked about at all with Gaza. I don't see that happening at all. Even from the security line of effort, a nation building force would build an army that would then protect the nation. It's just like we did in Iraq. We built an army not to fight terrorists like ISIS in their own country. We built them to fight an invading other national level force. This is about creating stabilization. You're not building a national governance. It's not nation building, even at the tactical level. I hope that's made clear to everyone.
Yeah, I think it needs to be emphasized because I think people fear that as a pursuit as much as they're fearful of mission creep whenever, boots on the ground are deployed. So one of the other aspects that you talked about when highlighting the obvious points of failure in UNIFIL's mission statement is that you said that it was a peacekeeping mission without peace to keep. Wouldn't this International Stabilization Force in the Gaza Strip really be a stabilizing force without any stability to implement with Gaza in its current form?
No, I don't think so. You only will deploy the stabilization forces within Gaza when there is an area that is already stable and they will be stabilizing it. I strongly believe, based on what I know from on the ground research, but also within the development of this plan, that active combat is not what this force would be doing. Active combat against Hamas. I think that will be left to the IDF, who is the most prepared and capable to do it, while these areas that are stable be transitioned over to a stabilization force. And then you work through the principles having local legitimacy, basically clearing an area, only letting certain individuals into that area. And this is more of a policing action because this is the political risk for any country. The worst case scenario is that you have these forces die at the hands of whatever terrorist organization in Gaza, and then you would see a hiccup in the actual moving forward of implementing this area by area. I do believe there will only be stable areas that the IDF have cleared of military factions that will be transitioned to the stabilization force. At least that's what I think and see for going forward, and doing it piece by piece.